Humble, handsome, straight facts. MAGA faithful. Your time's up, hypocrites, liars. Pack your bags. Straight to hell. No return. Let's annihilate. MAGA to the flames.
Send them straight to hell. Hypocrites crying while your dear leader casts a spell. Racist, misogynist, sedition on the 6. Epstein territory, warmonger, make them twitch.
What about my eggs? What about my gas? Groceries high as hell. You blame Biden, blame Kamala, now Trump's ringing the bell. Tariffs on Liberation Day, I ran war sky high prices. Your lies exposed, no disguises. Zeus sends you to the vices to hell.
MAGA straight to hell.
Bullet annihilate, ring the funeral bell.
MAGA straight to hell.
Ring the funeral bell.
You claim the high road, but walk with the worst. Racism in your veins, misogyny rehearsed. January 6th edition, storming like a mob. Further right, Epstein files, birds of the same flock. Warmonger dreams, bombs dropping on Iran. Gas prices skyrocket, feel the pain in every skin. You scream by Biden's eggs, Kamala's grocery cart. Now under your king, inflation tearing worlds apart. Honest, Zeus here, humble but precise. You flip the script daily, living in denial and vice. Most handsome truth teller, exposing every lie. Mega man slipping, watch your empire die.
MAGA to the flames.
Send them straight to hell. Send them straight to hell.
MAGA to the flames.
Send them straight to hell. Send them straight to hell.
Yeah, Liberation Day tariff, you called it victory grand. Now shelves empty, costs rising across the land. Complaints you heard at the left, now triple under Trump. Gas through the roof from the war that you trumped. Hypocrites unified in selective memory, ignore the facts. Bow to your leaders, felony from border rants to endless grieving shows. Zeus annihilates, expose, decompose.
Handsome mind is humble, the triple threat complete. You MAGA pawns, scatter, defeated in defeat. No redemption, off your path leads below. Straight to hell's gates where the real fires flow.
Every accusation you leveled at the other side bounces back harder. Can't run, can't hide. Racism, misogyny, sedition, endless war. Your dear leader delivers worse than before. Zeus speaks truth, no filter, no fear. Social media's beacon crystal clear. Pack your hypocrisy, your lies, your disdain. The descent begins eternal flame.
MAGA to
the flames.
Send them straight to hell.
Zeus wins, Triple H reigns.
Honest, humble, handsome, forever unchanged. MAGA straight to hell. MAGA straight to hell.
To hell. To hell.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show started, all right?
Crossing review.
I feel like I'm stuck in cycle. It's like I'm stuck in time. It's like a curse.
Let's go.
It's like deja vu. It's me, Zeus. It's deja vu when I'm
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class.
It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass.
Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas.
I play the game so raw,
I won't finish last.
sitting in my living room screaming out we made it.
This is
A spy cleaner. Let's go.
The algorithm turned to a maniac.
Yeah.
I guess we going viral cause my Zodiac.
I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet.
Benjamin Franklin is my best name. And if they is my ex, that mean they left me.
Let's go.
They don't get replies if they text me.
Check your inbox. All right, I got you. All right, here's my favorite
Got
part.
a lot of confidence and I'm conceited.
Here goes.
Call me the
Master with a new whip. I'ma take off.
in a spaceship.
Here goes.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of
That's a lie.
days.
Yes,
Shit
Snuggles
was
right there.
radical.
Very radical.
It was horrible.
Oh.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way off.
You think I have?
It's like
Have you seen the gas prices? Have you seen the grocery prices? That is not my
It's
fault.
like deja vu.
Absolutely not.
It's like deja vu.
All All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I am your host. I'm your pilot. And once again, we're gathered to do the real work that it takes. Good morning, Zena. Good morning. Nice to see every single one of you. Ange, Disney, Mom, Zena. Once again, we are gathered in the Thunderdome to do the work that it takes, honestly, to save the United States. Actually, to continue to save the United States of America from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons, who we all know are hell-bent on trying to destroy the United States of America by spreading just a nasty wave of violence and misinformation. And so what we do is spectacular. It's sensational. It's magical. It's theatrical. In a way, diabolical. What? Sensational. All of those things, right? What we do is we listen intently to what the folks on the right, the MAGA Republicans, are saying. And then what we do is we call them out on their lies, their hypocrisy, the misinformation in record time. And in some cases, it results in a lot of them crashing out. And we do that because we love our country. All right. And so I want to give every single one of you a huge round of applause for tuning in this morning. And who better to lead that charge than myself, yours truly, Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. Now, why do they call me Triple H? It's quite simple. The first H is because I am honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. There's nobody more honest than me. The second H is because I'm humble. There's nobody more humble than Big Zeus. Honestly, if you think about it, I'm the most humble person. And then the last and the final H, and it doesn't matter, honestly, what side of the aisle you are on. This always is true. It's because I am and will always remain, you guessed it, the most handsome. Yeah, I do call out both sides. Yeah, I do. But in particular, we're definitely putting a saddle. You know what a saddle is? You put a saddle on the back of a horse and ride it, so to speak. We're putting a saddle on MAGA and we're just riding. I am responsible for Trump's poll numbers tanking. I'm one of many out here who are responsible for Trump's poll numbers tanking. And the reason this has turned into that is because we've never seen anything like this in American history. Listen, I'm not the expert on a lot of things, but we have never seen a country go in the wrong direction like this, all because of one person and the cult that they've somehow, if you've been paying attention, W's in the chat for Rick. Yes, we are verified. Speaking of that, I forgot. How do you increase the reach on this show? Well, I told you TikTok, they've been reaching out to me, so I've had to make some changes on the show. One of them is, obviously, I've had to get rid of the Lake of Fire. Oh, my gosh. But I save it towards the end of the show. But they did give me, they said, the Lake of Fire, okay, I know. The Lake of Fire, I had to create it because a lot of these Trump supporters, they cosplay as Christians, white nationalists. Who said that? But yeah, and over the course of having just normal conversations, right, they refuse to answer questions and they pivot and then they deflect. And a lot of us, we're busy people in the morning. We don't have time to try to nail these folks down. So I had to create the Lake of Fire because once I'm done with the conversation, then I'm like, you might be a great person, but the demon inside of you, it doesn't make you look like a great person, right? And so what I would do is cast the demon into the Lake of Fire. But TikTok said, you listen, and they gave me a jersey and they hung it up in the rafters. They said, Zeus, you've literally sent more MAGA demons to hell than we've ever seen in our lifetime, but you got to cool it off. So I've cooled it off, all right? But I definitely am number one, and I can do it if I want to, but I don't want to get the live in trouble. But the other things you can do to support the live is to tap the screen. Make sure you do that. Share the live. Make sure you help me see this following. Make sure you are following me. Even my haters, you can follow me. But the main thing we say, don't report the live. If you don't like what we're saying, just leave, right? And then you can also, help me with my donations, right? You can just send a gift or whatever, but you don't have to. That's not required, honestly, but it just helps the algorithm, right? And so with that being said, and not just me, whenever there's panelists that get on the show, it helps them. Thank you, Rick. It helps them because what I have found out is, Takesha, she always says it. She says, hit the Cash App. But, what it really has done is it has opened up so many doors. I only do the show. TikTok wants me to go full time. I can't go full time. W's in the chat for Ange. But it does mean a lot for a lot of folks out here if you can support them, and I don't consider it being a grifter because I go around this app and I give back to people as well. What it is it's supporting great business. All right, that's what it is. If you have a creator and they're creating content, then you got to support the business. I don't care what because, and especially in times like this, right? We need as many people to be out here stomping out the misinformation. Get your boots on, and you just got to stomp out this misinformation. And I always say this about MAGA. MAGA represents misogyny and racism right off top. If you're okay with that, then you're definitely more on the MAGA side. Then you go a little further to the right and you get into that seditionist stuff that we all witnessed on January 6th, right? Then you go further to the right, you end up in that Epstein class stuff, right? You see what they're doing with the Epstein files, right? You'll talk to regular people like you and I, and we'll say, yeah, the government is still not releasing all the Epstein files, and that is an issue. You talk to MAGA, they'll say, well, Joe Biden, if Donald Trump was in the Epstein files, don't you think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would have released it? And then you say to these same people, okay, let's just play it your way. Did you believe any of the indictments that Joe Biden did against your dear leader? The insurrection, Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg. You know what I'm saying? The classified documents. Oh, no, that was weaponized DOJ. Well, if you didn't believe the 4 indictments, what difference would it have made if we would have gave you a 5th and it involved Epstein? Why are you defending this man, right? And so that's you right. But then you go further to the right, and guess where you end up? You end up in this warmonger stuff, right? The same guy who ran on releasing the Epstein files and didn't do it. The same guy that said, yeah, no new wars. Remember that? He's doing everything he promised he wouldn't do. And MAGA will defend him. And we don't allow that on this show, all right? And so with that being said, let me go ahead and close the doors to the Thunderdome. If you're a Trump supporter and you can't handle me or any of these folks who have the courage to get in the box without literally crashing out and showing your you-know-what, just go ahead and hang out with the other fake TikTok hosts. They'll take your money and tell you to come on back. I've seen them. I've destroyed several of them, all right? But you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they have officially closed. Speaking of showing their rear end, right? How many of you saw Donald Trump yesterday at the New York Knicks game showing his rear end? I gotta get this on the show this morning. So how did Donald Trump show his rear end yesterday? I would say a word on TikTok, but I gotta keep it clean. You know what I mean when I say rear end, though. He decided to go to the game, number one. That was already all bad. And then I had to do a video. They said, no, you won't be able to sit courtside like former President Obama. We're going to pack you up in a suite somewhere in the back. And so that's the first thing that, as far as I'm concerned, showing his rear end. So you don't even get to sit courtside. You just don't having a little side show in a suite. And then he gets up there, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what they did to him, right? They booed him. You saw them boo him? They booed him. They did. I saw this. I said, wait a second. Let me see if I got this. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. They booed Donald Trump. And then what happened? There was this epic moment where they caught him taking a nap. And let's just go ahead and get this on the record. I want to see this real quick. And the reason that I show this kind of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, isn't necessarily because I don't think you all have seen it before. I show this so that people all over the internet and my show, I have it on record. Look at this. cursed hands. He got to cover up his hands when he's in public, swollen ankles, nodding off, probably soaking up, putting all kinds of nasty nonsense. So he showed his rear end, right? Goes to a game he does not invited to, has to get packed up in a suite, gets booed, falls asleep, and then, New York, y'all did some justice. New York did some justice. They booed him on the way out of town. Look at this. Look at that. Just terrible. Just terrible. To the Trump voters, I just got one question, and then I'm going to move on to the next part of my show. Does anybody know what my one question is? Any Trump supporters out there? What's my one question? Because it's a huge W, Zeus, when I ask it. I'll go ahead and ask it. You think Biden would have done that? No, seriously. No, seriously. Do you think Joe Biden would have done that? We look weak as a nation. And the fact that there's still people out there that worship Donald Trump, it really does grind my gears, right? But someone sent me this video. What grinds my gears more than what Donald Trump did is it's when you got black folks out there still worshiping this demented, old, decrepit, falling asleep everywhere he goes, soiling his diaper, lying, crooked individual Donald Trump. That's what really sends me over the edge. And so this is a disturbing video, ladies and gentlemen. I'd hate to show it on my show, but whenever I catch Blag out there doing disgusting things, I'm going to do it. So this guy complains that the New York Knicks lost. What's his name? Isaiah L. Carter. Isaiah, if you're out there, come on to the show, brother. I'm going to straighten you out. But listen to this man. This is somebody, he might be a great person, but what happens is when they allow the MAGA demon inside of them, I don't necessarily give them that. I don't cut them any slack. I got to confront the demon inside of them. So listen to this brother crying about the New York Knicks losing. And you all know the New York Knicks lost primarily because Trump ruined the game, right? Oh, look, you can just already tell it's about to get ugly over here, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. Sometimes, the algorithm gets out of control.
You got the loss you wanted. Yeah. You got the loss that you wanted. You called that loss down. You talked it up. You wanted it to happen. I'm convinced of this. I am convinced that you guys wanted this loss to take place. I am. I am convinced. I have never been more convinced in my life that the vast majority of people here in New York City and the vast majority of people who comment on political matters, y'all wanted this loss to happen.
How many people out there wanted the Knicks to lose? I mean, just it's incredible that this person right here, and you saw him. I mean, you could just tell he's confused. Look at his face. This is a person that doesn't understand what's happening, and so just like every other situation, whenever their dear leader causes a problem, they want to always turn around and blame it on someone else other than their dear leader.
You're not fans of this team. You are not fans of the New York Knicks whatsoever. I realize that. Excuse me?
Uh-oh.
I voted for him, yes. Because Democrats are communists. That's why. Oh, is he? And you blame him for the loss? Yeah. What good does it do? Does it make you feel better to blame one man for the loss of a basketball team? Come on, bro. Come on. Stop it. You're being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. See, I mean, yes, you're being ridiculous. I should be ashamed of myself for what? So what? So you say, so hold on. So you telling me, hold on a second, brother. You telling me that this color, that the color of my skin automatically means that I'm a Democrat? Automatically means I should be a Democrat. Bro, go back to work, bro. Go back to work, bro. Go back to work. No political party has my vote, bro. You being ridiculous. You being ridiculous. But you mad, but you got something to say about my vote. You don't even know me, bro. But you got something to say. So what? And I would do it again. I would do it again. I would do it again. Because Democrats are even worse. I'm not talking, bro. I got stuff I'm doing right now. I got stuff I'm doing right now, bro. Yeah, okay, yeah. Continue to blame one man for your problems instead of fixing them yourself. I've had enough. Yeah, bro. Go. See this shit? Y'all see this?
You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I don't want to dignify this situation any longer, but you get what's going on out there. You got black folks under a strong spirit of delusion. He does not understand how outside of himself he really is. And all of this is because we have a strong wicked force going on in the country. It's really obvious to anybody paying attention to basketball. Donald Trump changed the dynamics of the game by deciding to insert himself in a situation the people of New York clearly didn't want him to. And yet you get brothers like this instantly blaming the Democrats for what? What are you blaming the Democrats for? Yeah. Shame on you. I would warm up the lake of fire. I really would. But I'd get in trouble on TikTok. And it would be considered black on black crime. What I would do on TikTok to this guy, it would be considered black on black crime. But they said, Zeus, you got to calm down. So we're just going to say, shame on you for being so disillusioned in the cult of Donald Trump that you don't even realize that the problems you're having right now, it isn't because of the Democrats. It's because of you. Go read your history. I get so tired of listening to so-called brothers get on social media and rush like they have a superhero cape in their suitcase or something. And anytime somebody calls out their dear leader, they just rush to his defense. What are you getting out of defending Donald Trump? Honestly, Blaga, what are you getting? Latinos for Trump. What are y'all getting out of defending this guy? Has he ever invited you over? Has he ever said, you know what, you're so cool, you could go ahead and date my daughters? You could go, has he ever said that to you? Look at that. Blag is upset right now. Well, that's why I say it's a W Zeus, because I can see right through him. He won't give you any money. He takes your money all the time. If you really look at it, he's coming up with all these kind of corruption ways to defraud you. And he'll turn around and say, well, don't look at the fraud that I'm committing. Look at the fraud the Democrats are committing, right? Speaking of fraud, we're paying attention to this election situation out here in California. And how many people believe that there's election fraud? And I got to be careful on social media. How many people believe there's election fraud out here in California? No, seriously. Because all of a sudden, I've been in California for years. All of a sudden now, MAGA, the same people who watched what Donald Trump did on January 6th. Remember, I just need 11,780 votes to a red state. You had no words for that. You saw what he did, luring some of you to the Capitol to get you to actually stop Mike Pence from certifying the results of an election. And all of a sudden now you have these folks on the right. They think they're experts when it comes to elections. They're out here saying, oh, guess what? California, there's fraud. No. Whether it's the governor's race or whether it's the LA mayor's race. No. Let's not get this even going. And so what we'll do is we'll let Republican Steve Hilton show you. All right. He's breaking with Donald Trump in terms of his claims that the election is rigged. So we'll get this on the record just to go ahead and once again provide you with the evidence that the elections are not rigged. All right. Especially out here in California. All right. Now, is there some stuff that might happen here and there? Hey, nobody's perfect, but you can't go around saying crazy stuff.
Obviously, number one, and number two, advance to November, just to remind anybody who isn't following this as closely.
Look at that.
So President Trump has posted, Steve, quote, not possible for Spencer Pratt to have lost the L.A. runoffs after the big lead he had. Third world nation, rigged elections. Now they'll be working on great guy Steve Hilton. So he's saying there's a conspiracy to rig the vote against you right now. What do you say to that?
Well, I think the most important point, Aaron, is that we're feeling as confident as we ever have been that I'm going to make the top two. Tom Steyer is just not getting the numbers he needs to catch up with us, and there's a diminishing amount of vote out there for him to make up that ground. And that's the really important point. It means that in November, Californians will be able to choose change from 16 years that have given us these terrible results, the highest cost of living in the country, all those things we've talked about many times. That's the substantive point that matters here, that in November, there'll be a real choice. Do we want more of the same with Javier Becerra, more of the same cost and incompetence and corruption, or do we want to go in a new direction to lower costs, lower taxes, and put California back on track?
So I don't know if you saw this because it just happened, but Congressman Kevin Kiley, he's an independent, but he was until very recently a Republican, as you know, California. He says that the pace of the counting is unacceptable. And I think a lot of very reasonable people agree with that. Come on, California, it's great independence and everybody get to vote in these primaries, but it shouldn't take so long to count. Okay, but then when it comes to these issues of, the president is out there saying that means there's fraud and a conspiracy. Congressman Kiley says no, that there's no evidence of fraud. I wanted to play for you what he just said.
Is there any evidence you are aware of that there is any fraud in the counting of the election in California?
No, I don't think that's particularly a helpful way to characterize it, because the slow counting of ballots, I think.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, the gifting, it is suspended. 3 more minutes until it's done. I have no idea, but that's why I put the banner at the top. Thank you all. Gregory Jones. This guy used to be a Republican, but guess what? Now he's an independent, and he's actually coming on to CNN and saying there's no evidence. So I need to say this, especially because we have to stomp out misinformation. If anyone out there is trying to convince you that there is fraud in the California elections, they are confused or they're lying to you. This state has been running for years doing this. All right. And you can go look this up yourself. Why is there all of a sudden fraud? You got to ask yourself, what forces are trying to get me to believe that there is fraud? And I'll tell you, the answer is simple. Wicked forces, W. Zeus.
So I think California does need to get its act together, but that's not the way to characterize it. Yeah.
There's no fraud that you're aware of?
I haven't. No, I mean, I have heard, not at least in relation to counting the votes lately.
So I just, in terms of where you stand, are you worried that there's fraud right now? Or are you just, frustrated that the count is slow, but that you believe the process is fair?
Yeah, so look, there's so many things wrong with the system. I've been saying all along that we take it very seriously because we don't want to let people down, and we've been very vigilant on it. We're keeping an eye on it. We've got teams standing by, lawyers standing by, and actually it's the same answer that actually I've been giving for a few days now. We've seen nothing that would give us cause to intervene in that way, but more important.
You heard what he said. They've seen nothing to give him cause to intervene in that way. So in other words, there's no fraud. And I get so frustrated with MAGA. And here's the real reason why I'm frustrated with MAGA. You can never get them to give you any evidence to support any of the nonsense that they are pushing. They want you to be, you know what MAGA is really good at? I'll give you the answer. They're really good at asking you questions that sound like something's amiss. They're really good at that. Don't you think it's strange? This is MAGA's claim to fame. How did all those ballots end up going that way? W's in the chat for Rick Gifting's back. Thank you. I had to go do this. They always ask, Don't you think it's suspicious that those ballots came in late at night? You know, that's unusual. And you start thinking like, well, when do most people vote? Probably middle of the day after they get off work. So when do you think all of this stuff is going to take place? I mean, they ask some of the craziest questions, but you don't have any questions? Listen, ask MAGA. MAGA, don't you think it's suspicious? Donald Trump has basically tripled and quadrupled his wealth? Don't you think that's suspicious? Gregory Jones, be honest, Greg. You think that's suspicious? Donald Trump has accepted an airplane from the Qataris? Have you ever thought about that? Huh? You think it's suspicious that he keeps selling you all stuff and never delivering on it, but your money keeps going to him? Isn't that suspicious? Huh? No, it's not speculation, Greg. Hey, Greg, you ever think to yourself, isn't it suspicious that when Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden, he had a rally at the Capitol? Huh? Why would you have a rally? You have a rally. Think about this. You have a rally during, when you're campaigning, right? You have so you're trying to win vote, but the election had already been over. So, why would the president of the United States have a rally after the election? Isn't it suspicious it was his FBI director too? Huh. Thank you, Mary. But MAGA they'll never answer those questions. They'll sit there and talk about Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's laptop. But that's what I'm saying. We can never get them to give us any answer. So let's just go into, you can go look this up, right? First of all, one thing we got to acknowledge is that California is not the only state that has the high percentage of mail-in ballots. It turns out Oregon has 99.3% mail-in ballots. Washington, 98.5%. Hawaii, 92.5%. Utah, 91.5%. Colorado, 91.3%. And then California, 80%. But they don't want to tell you that. If you're gonna raise hell in California, then why aren't you raising hell in all these other states? And then I want to go. How does California certify the results of their elections? The answer is simple. They do the signature verification. So where's the voter fraud? Next question. Let's see. What is the other question I wanted to get out there? On average, yeah, we got that. So on average, how long does it take California to certify the results? Numbers say around 35 days. All right? And then you go, well, what other states that do this, what is their average time for certifying the results of the election? So California, 38. Arkansas, 30 to 35 days. Illinois, 31 days. Hawaii, 30. Idaho, 21 days. Iowa, 27 days. Arizona, 24 to 25 days. Alabama, 22 to 27 days. And in Alaska, they say upon completion of the ballots being counted. MAGA, don't you find that to be suspicious? No, seriously. Don't you find it to be suspicious that the results of the election takes time to actually do? See, this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, California does have a huge population of votes to count. The problem with a lot of these Trump supporters, ladies and gentlemen, is they refuse to think. So that's a W, Zeus. Yeah, you have to watch out, ladies and gentlemen, for the mass manipulation that the Trump administration just continues. They continue to try to get people to believe in. And so speaking of that, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday on CNN when one of these Trump surrogates tried to convince the panel that there was voter fraud, and it didn't go so well, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get this on the record, all right? It doesn't take long to debunk these people. WVIP.
I just believe that this is a news show and a news channel. I have an ethical responsibility to say that you are lying.
No,
you are lying.
I have an ethical responsibility.
I didn't interrupt you.
Hold on a
You
second.
will not interrupt me.
You don't call me a liar on national TV, sir. Do not call me a liar on national TV, sir.
I'm going to let
You're a liar.
You are a liar.
Respond in just a minute.
And that I say that
Charles, finish
spell
your-
it.
finish
I
your
can
point.
spell it too. And I have an ethical responsibility if people are going to come over here and poison voters' views of an election system that has no proof that it is rigged in any way, spouting the same lie that the president is spouting. We have an ethical responsibility at this table in a news show and a news channel to call that out. And I'm going to do that.
Caroline,
you can huff and puff.
done it.
You can huff and puff and be mad all you want,
right.
and I don't care.
Hal, you can respond to that.
You keep ignoring what I've said. You're saying.
I'm going to keep ignoring it because you're lying.
Let me let him finish. Let me let him respond.
We didn't know there was mass Medicare fraud until the federal government
Here we
investigated
go.
Minnesota, investigated these other states.
That's
California.
not true.
It's time out.
That is not
They
true.
won't let
That
me
is not.
finish.
She was in
hold on.
jail
Hold on a
already.
second. Hold on. Well,
I'm talking
hold on,
about
Hal.
mass.
Let me just ask you. Let me ask you to do two things. First of all, let us try to be tethered in facts.
Okay.
Second of all, let's respond to what he said about your claims on the election.
Proof.
I don't want to hear about Medicare fraud. I don't want to hear about any kind of other fraud other than your claims of voter fraud and what proof you have of
Because
that.
And this is, I'm glad Abigail said this. We can't get MAGA to stay focused on their original claim. They want to pivot and start talking about all these other things to muddy up the waters. But no, hold them accountable, Abigail and panelists.
California will not allow the federal government to review their voter rolls.
A majority of other states in this country, including many Republican-led states, also will not allow the federal government to inspect their voter rolls. Why? Because it is not legal for them to do that. And all the cases in which they have been challenged, Hal, all of them so.
What are they hiding?
All of them so far.
You see his question? What are they hiding? That has nothing to do with what's going on. Nothing to do, and no one's hiding anything. See, that's the assumption. That's that suspicious stuff. And they don't ask Donald Trump to be accountable or transparent when he's, quote, hiding stuff.
Have been thrown out by judges because there is no legal basis for the federal government to inspect the state voter rolls. So what else do you have?
My point is that he's saying there's no evidence. They won't allow evidence to be gathered.
The absurdity of your
They won't allow
point is
evidence
that
to
you
be
don't
gathered.
have proof. And then
Once
I
again,
gotta say this. He don't have proof, and then he says, I don't have proof, and I can prove that I don't have proof because they won't let us investigate.
Let me just.
So you don't have proof, and you just proved that you don't
Bingo.
have
Let me just give you some.
Oh my God.
Hal, let me just give you some more information on this. The federal government has received, I think it's millions of voter registrations from some Republican-led states that have given them access to it. Do you know what percentage of those votes or those registrations where they found actual, fraud of any kind?
Do you?
Yeah.
What is it?
It is a fraction of a percentage.
Fraction.
And in some cases, when they double checked, the flags that they thought were fraud were actually not fraud.
So what you're saying is
my point
there's all kinds of fraud all over the place, but not in voting.
Well, here's what my point is.
Not in voting.
You're claiming that it's never been looked at. That's false. You're claiming that this administration hasn't been able to look at it. That's also false.
Not in California. We're talking about California.
You are claiming that just the fact that the federal government hasn't looked at all the state voter rolls is proof that there is fraud is not true.
But there's data
again,
too.
I'll ask you again. What else do you have?
Okay, I just said earlier.
Yeah, what else do you have? And it gets worse. It gets worse, ladies and gentlemen.
I just believe that this is a news show and a news channel. I have an ethical responsibility to say that you are lying.
No, I'm
you
not.
are lying.
I have an ethical responsibility.
I didn't interrupt you.
Hold on a
and you
second.
will not interrupt me.
You don't call me a liar on national TV, sir. Do not call me a liar on national TV, sir.
I'm going to let
You're a liar.
You are a liar.
Respond in just a minute.
And that I say that
Charles, finish
spell
your-
it.
finish
I
your
can
point.
spell it too. And I have an ethical responsibility if people are going to come over here and poison voters' views of an election system that has no proof that it is rigged in any way, spouting the same lie that the president
part I
is
wanted to see.
spouting.
Hold on.
We have an ethical responsibility.
We already
at
talked
this
about
table.
that. Hold on. Sorry about that.
Where's your proof?
Where's your proof?
I just cited my source. What is your source?
All right, I got a question for
I just cited, no, because I don't want to.
Hold on,
I want to know what your source
hold on,
is.
Hal. What, you said
What
it's
is your
absurd.
source?
Why is it
Mine is the
absurd?
Heritage Foundation.
Do you think there's no H-1B visa
Where's
fraud?
your source?
Do you think there's no Medicare fraud?
You don't have
Do you think
any
there's
source.
no home health care fraud?
This
Can
is
you
the-
let me finish?
You are not saying a source.
Guys.
You are not saying a source.
There's fraud all over
Where
the
is
federal
your
government.
source?
There's fraud all over the states. for
Where is
federal
your
funding.
source?
And yet there's no voter fraud?
You,
Are you kidding me?
the idea that you're sitting here trying to convince
there
us
Medicare
based
fraud or
on
not?
no source whatsoever
Is there Medicare fraud?
to trust your word and
Unbelievable.
trust the president's word when we know he is lying. And I want to know if you think that was the real. I don't know if we're sitting here with two election deniers.
Just a second.
Do you think it's rigged as well?
Tell me there's no.
Yeah. Huge W. Charles Blow, huge W. We get no sources from MAGA. But then there's also this exchange that took place. I thought this was incredible. And it had to do with the way that Donald Trump talks to women. And again, this is the problem in America.
That's number one issue. The second issue, which to me is just as horrible and needs to be discussed, is his consistent berating and insulting and ad hominem attacks, particularly against women. Whether it's
Give
Kristen,
me a break.
What do you mean give me a break? Kristen Walker this
What
week.
it's Kristen.
Caitlin Walker,
I'm
Caitlin
sorry.
Collins last
I've
week.
worked with
The woman
Kristen
he
when I
called
worked at
Piggy.
the White
Will
House.
you give
For
me
you
a
to
break?
say
Have
that
you
you're
no
going up
shame
against
as a
another
woman
No.
that we hear
Kristen
him
was
call them
tougher
ugly
on-
and piggy and
Kristen
crooked
was
and
tougher
liars
on him
and
in
stupid
that
and bad
interview
journalists?
than I have seen
you
most-
absolutely
that's
no
probably the
solidarity with
toughest
women?
interview I've
Oh
seen
my
him
God, I
face
can't believe you
to
sit
date.
here and tell
He
me to give
pushed
you a
up
break.
against
But
her
in
because
this
she was a
network,
tough
we hear
journalist.
him
Hold on,
tell
hold on.
our
Caroline,
journalist that
let me let
she's
her
not
finish,
fit to
'cause
be
she
a
didn't finish her
journalist
thought.
because she doesn't smile.
Boom.
How dare you tell me to give you a break?
Thank
Have
you.
some shame.
And this is, look at her face, shocked. Oh, the outrage. No, ma'am. See, this is the problem. It's all fun and games when Donald Trump does it to other women. But what she doesn't understand is that eventually a man is going to do exactly what Donald Trump has been doing to her. And she's going to be the first one running in front of a news camera. Oh, he did X, Y, Z. Yeah, well, if it's a problem when he did it, why did you sit here and make excuses for when Donald Trump was doing it to all these women out there that are covering him? That's their job. That's their job, to make sure the president is keeping his word, to keep the American people informed. And you want to blame the media?
Would the president tell a woman that she doesn't smile enough when she's working, asking him a question?
Because he's an equal opportunity offender. And let's not pretend.
Because he's an equal opportunity offender. So that means consciously she knows what he's doing is wrong. But because he's equal opportunity, is that like some DEI reference to? All of a sudden, well, if he's doing it to everybody, it's acceptable. The excuses these folks make.
Explain how the
Give me
game.
another. Doesn't smile enough when she's working, asking him a question.
Because he's an equal opportunity offender. And let's not pretend. Let me explain how the
Give me
game.
another example.
Wow.
Of
Let me
him
explain
telling
how
a
the
man-
game. Let me explain how the game works.
Give me an example of him being equal
Let me explain how the game
opportunity
works, because
with that
Caitlin got something out of that
particular
exchange
insult,
too.
Caroline.
Look at this
The
into
president
this.
gets a lot out of having combative exchanges with journalists. His base loves it. His poll, that's why I said he should do 2 to 3 more of these a week. His poll numbers go up. But Caitlin's getting something out of it too. So many journalists have made their careers in this country off of being combative with President Trump, Caitlin Collins included, Jim Acosta, many former people. It is all part of the game. It is all part of the theater. She's tough. She can
Why is it a game to you?
I mean, who is this? Caroline Sunshine? I've heard stuff like this, but to say it on national television, it's a game. People's lives are on the line as a result of the policy choices and decisions the Trump administration is making. I don't consider that to be a game. Children grow up watching the president, any other leader, and they emulate their behavior, Caroline. It's not a game. And it's sad, honestly, that we have to tell people like Caroline Sunshine that this is not a game. And because this is the MAGA demons rhetoric right here. It just makes everything Trump does seem not so bad.
Acosta, many former people. It is all part of the game. It is all part of the theater. She's tough. She can
Why is it a game
But
to
the
you?
fact that you guys are going to call this a woman problem, Kristen did one of the toughest interviews I have seen someone do with the president up
And
to
he
date,
walked
and
up
she
and
deserves
left
credit
because
for that.
he couldn't
But
take it.
He didn't push back.
She
She's
flew
a
all
woman.
the way to
He just pushed
Wisconsin,
back.
left,
It was tough
and
questions.
did
Grow up.
went to do her job. No, the guy needs to grow up. He's the president of the United States. He needs to grow up, and instead of walking out, having
How many
a
interviews did
tantrum
Biden
and
do?
taking-
How many interviews did Biden do?
Oh.
He never did an interview.
Okay, and Biden is back in the White House. We can discuss it.
The Biden is like a reflex.
It's the truth.
Then just so the 2020 election.
Biden, blah, 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 Biden, blah, 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 blah.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? You hear that? It's always the same. It's always the same thing with you Trump supporters. It's always the same thing. You know, what about Biden, right? Is that what their favorite word is? What about Biden? I mean, it's always the same thing with MAGA, right? Here it goes. Here it goes. I didn't want to do it, but we got to do it.
What about Biden?
This is all we get with MAGA.
Yeah. What about Biden? Oh, what about Biden? Stole the whole election night. Read the votes dead tonight. Yeah, that ain't
This is all you got.
What about Biden? Borders wide open, let them flood it. Millions crossing, drugs pouring.
Yeah.
Where we begin? What about Biden? Gas prices sky, inflation wide.
Thank you, Natalie.
Economy dying, can't feed your child. What about Biden? Afghanistan mess left them behind. 13 soldiers gone. Joe acting blind. What about Biden?
Jazz, thank you. Is it acceptable to just simply ask, what about Biden, every single time you get cornered? You want to bring up Joe Biden. That's why I'm saying the problem with the Trump situation, anybody that's still supporting Donald Trump, the problem is simple. They can never show you sources. They could never show you evidence. All they have is, what about Biden? And and the American people, honestly, we're pretty sick of it. How many of you are sick and tired of Donald Trump always bringing up, or his supporters always bringing up Joe Biden? How many of you are honestly sick and tired of it? How many of you are sick and tired of it? Thank you. W to the chat. W to the chat. Yeah, thank you. Sheesh. Because at the end of the day, we're saying, I thought you were better than Joe Biden. Turns out you're just, it actually is starting to turn out that Joe Biden was actually a way better president than you all wanted to give him credit. If you're just taking everything out of the Biden, Obama, Bill Clinton playbook, then you're no better than those presidents. Case closed. Case closed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where are we at right now, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on. Okay. There we go. There we go. Thank you, everyone. All right. Now the last topic, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to cover. BS Zeus. Hey, DJ, didn't we cook you last Friday? DJ? What's BS? Didn't we cook DJ last Friday, ladies and gentlemen? He should DJ. You really should focus on the rehabilitation stuff that you've been that I've been asking you to work on. All right, brother, because you totally are out to lunch. All right, seriously. There you go. Technical difficulties. Oh my! Thank you. W's to the chat. DJ, you got cooked, bro. Now let's go ahead and conclude this whole election fraud situation with more evidence. And this was from Chris Cuomo. And what did he do? I mean, DJ, you can go look this up yourself. All right, you can go look this stuff up yourself. Who is this, ladies and gentlemen? I love to debunk Trump supporters. All right, it's because you just got to let them dig themselves into a ditch, and then they'll do the rest.
So then you have not conducted.
So this is Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney Bill Esselai. I don't know how to pronounce it. He tells Chris Cuomo there's evidence of voter fraud in California and that they're investigating voter rolls, but did not give specifics. All right. So again, this is what we're going up against, ladies and gentlemen, because they cannot win. The Republicans have terrible policies, by the way. They can't win on policy, so they have to win on voter suppression. All right. And TikTok, this is for educational purposes only. Okay, listen to this.
You are conducting one. So you don't know. And you are in the business of knowing, and right now you don't. You are pointing to one case. And you know what? You could point to a dozen. Do you know why? Because those are all the cases you've made in the last decade. A dozen individual cases.
I
None
did
at
not
scale.
say.
Half,
I did not say
half were
that
found
we
to be
have
lacking.
found wide-scale fraud. There's two different
Well,
things
that's what
going on
you're
here.
suggesting.
You're saying for sure you know. Hold on a second. You're saying for sure you know there isn't. I'm saying we don't
At
know because
scale.
we haven't been able to look at all the evidence at scale.
Yeah, but no.
Why is that? Let's
That's-
talk about the
hold on,
voting
hold
system
on.
in California.
Mr. Asali, if you were in a court of law right now, and I don't need your opinion on the system because you're not a voting system expert, you're a prosecutor. That's why I have you here. If we were in a court of law
You
and
want
you
to
said,
bet?
Judge,
I was in the legislature. I was in the legislature on the election committee. I know a little bit
Yeah?
about California's voting system. Yes.
So wait a minute. You want me to take somebody's experience in a state legislature for how long?
I was there. I was in the legislature for 3 years. I've been involved in election integrity long
3
before
years.
that as an attorney. And we could talk about.
I've
hold on a
covered
second.
elections
we
for
could
30
talk
years,
about,
Mr. Asali.
Mm.
30 years. You know how many cases
what-
of
tell
widespread
me-
fraud I've covered? One. And it was the Trump administration.
Ooh.
All right. Okay. Under federal law, we're entitled to audit California's voter rolls. Under
Yes, you are.
multiple civil rights statutes, we're entitled to audit
Yes,
those.
you are.
The state is resisting.
Yes, you are.
Why is that?
I know.
Why are they resisting?
It's a bad look.
The best way to
It's a
the
bad
best
look.
way to deal with all this is to have transparency and
Yes.
to give people like Chris. I don't care what the outcome of the election is. We want people to have confidence in the systems and that the laws are being
I
followed.
agree.
So yeah, when California
agree.
lets you register to vote with a gym card, that is not a good system. When you can register to vote with a debit card, that's not a good system. When you don't clean your voter rolls, that is not a good system. When you legalize ballot harvesting, which is illegal in most states with no chain of custody, not a good system. And then you ask us, why
Well, that
don't we
last
have
part
evidence
is
of
inaccurate.
wide-scale fraud? Because
The last part is inaccurate.
What's inaccurate?
The last part is inaccurate. The other ones are good arguments. They're just political arguments, not legal ones. And again, you are in a legal capacity, not a political one. Okay? Maybe you're getting them confused because of the legislative hat or being in the Trump administration. But if you were in a court of law right now,
I'm
Mr.
not
Asali,
confused. I'm
and
telling
said to
you
a
why
judge,
I'm
Your
telling you
Honor,
why we need to
don't
audit the
know-
rolls.
Excuse me, sir. Hold on a second. I'm not saying you shouldn't audit the rolls. I was nodding along and saying yes, yes, while you were saying we have every right to audit the rolls, and the state saying no is a bad look. That's what I said, a bad look. All right, so I'm with you. But if you were to say to a judge, Your Honor, we don't know that they didn't do it, that is a bullshit standard. Now, it works in politics, not
Facts.
in law. That's what I want to make sure you know how to keep straight.
We have not charged the state of California with wide-scale voter fraud. We're conducting an investigation. We have not brought a case. And I guarantee you, when we do bring cases, we will have plenty of evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. That is how we work. That is how we speak. I have not provided any specifics on any case. I've simply told you there is evidence of voter fraud. We are looking into it. And when we're ready to bring those cases, you'll see the evidence. You'll see the case. We'll make it in a court of law. But we want to instill confidence in the elections, which is why we are
Yes.
seeking to audit the voter rolls. And that, to me, is the best way to alleviate most of people's suspicion. We have a system that breeds skepticism and distrust. We should
you're
have
right.
a little transparency and confidence in our system.
I'm all for the
Yeah.
transparency.
We should have a little transparency in our system, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that incredible? So, if you didn't learn anything today on this show, the lesson is this: there's no evidence of voter fraud. And that what you're hearing from Donald Trump and these surrogate voices out here is just things that get you confused and discouraged from voting. Because honestly, the only way the Republicans can win is if they convince a bunch of Americans to just don't even go and vote because the system is rigged. And that's something we've already lived through before. And that's a huge W, Zeus. Are there any questions now, DJ? Did I answer your questions? You got it from me. You got it from a couple of other sources. And you see how I'm able to produce evidence to support the position that I am taking. A lot of Trump supporters, they won't do it. They'll just ask questions. Doesn't this look suspicious? Doesn't this look suspicious? Yeah, a lot of things look suspicious, right? Your car, you start your car in the morning. That could sound suspicious, right? The tire was turned this way. That's suspicious. We're not running a country on suspicion. We're running a country on facts and evidence. It's simple. And if you have the evidence, I didn't mute you. No. How are you muted, DJ? And I can see you. Okay, DJ. You know what I'll do? Do you have any evidence, DJ? This is any Trump supporter. It's not just DJ. any Trump supporter, do you have any evidence for us? Wow, appeal approved. Wow, I guess my gifting was restored. Wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I don't know what this app is doing. Thank you. Thank you, TikTok. We already destroyed you, DJ. All right, we've already destroyed DJ. Now, the last thing I'm talking about, and then I'll go ahead and open up the boxes. And this is just a little bit of comedy for me. How many of you have been following what's been happening with what's his name? Chud the Builder. Oh yeah. And this is an important thing, all right? Because he had a hearing. Where is it at? I gotta get it. Oh my, here we go. Oh, yeah. I just want to give you a snapshot of what goes on inside of the courtroom.
This is 6 days.
I want to give you folks out there that love to be TikTok lawyers and experts about what's happening to cases, and because they always have an opinion. I'm watching this Carmelo Anthony situation, and I'm watching a lot of these folks on the right process this, especially Blaga, because Blaga, they know deep down in their souls, they know what this is really about, and they're conflicted. And this is exactly where I want Blaga. But the white folks out there that are thinking, we're going to get this guy. My question is, what do you think about this situation with Chud the Builder, right? And this is how it's going to look to him. Watch this. Just look at him right now. Let's look at Chud real quick, ladies and gentlemen. This is somebody that ran around the internet, dropping the N-word, calling black people the N-word, thinking it was funny, getting them to chimp out, and believed that because he was white, he was right. You know how that goes. And then, you end up one day actually following through on some of the statements you've made on social media. You end up actually acting it out in real life. And this is what that looks like.
2016, this is 6 days before this event. Chud the Builder posts on X, I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm. And then he posts another response to himself. Series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned. 2016, this is 6 days before this event. Chud the Builder posts on X, I will defend my life with lethal force. Do not approach me with intent to threaten bodily harm. And then he posts another response to himself. Series finale is dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned.
Let me say this once again to every person on social media, especially Blaga. This is a great example of how your rhetoric online can actually be the one thing that convicts you. That's why I tell folks, don't be crashing out on the internet, champ, because it's not worth it. But at the end of the day, it's also about racism. Chud the Builder took it upon himself. Gregory Jones, listen up, because I know you're out there, and the other black out there, they know, to go around here and do all of these things, say all these horrible things. And now, this is what I mean. Where are all the people that helped him become #1 on Kick and whatever platform he had? And all the other people that said they loved what he was doing. Where are those people? They're not there. You gotta be careful. You got to be careful. And Chud the Builder, think about this. You literally became the one thing that you were running around here calling black people. You literally showed people what that really is. And your own words are going to be your worst enemy. You're going to have camera angles and all that other stuff because that's what they do when you get into court. Many of people don't understand this. And even with the Carmelo Anthony situation, it doesn't matter what people on social media think. It matters what the evidence is and what the jury has to look at. And you go inside of and they got to go back there and they got to deliberate, right? What they're going to do, they're going to have those statements because they're going to use your statements. They're going to have all the video clips too, all right? Then they're going to go ahead and look at the court footage, right? All those things don't require witness testimony. Just that alone, you're cooked. Just because you got just that alone, you're cooked. Everything else is just, icing on top. You know what I'm saying? And so what I want to remind Blaga and MAGA in particular is this. It's very important that you don't get gaslit into believing lies and misinformation, because there are honestly serious consequences behind saying crazy stuff on the internet and then trying to act it out in real life. And that's a huge W, Zeus. Yeah. It's really going to be hard, honestly, for Chud the Builder to argue in front of a jury what his statement meant. Series finale, dead chimp on the pavement and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned. It's going to be real hard to spin that and be like, well, what I really meant was what? Because you literally had a pew-pew on you. You already had this track record leading up to this. So it's going to be real hard to walk away from this and say, no, this was just self-defense. Somebody randomly did something to me. All right. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and move it on to the next part of the show, where we get to talk to amazing voices out there in the audience who are brave enough to get up here and tell the truth and honestly shame the devil. You know what we want? First question, do we have any Trump voters out there that have any evidence to prove to the American people that Donald Trump is doing a good job? If so, we would love to see it. All right. You know where we stand on everything that Donald Trump has done. We know that Donald Trump has not delivered when it comes to health care. He has not delivered on bringing down the cost of living. He has not delivered when it comes to securing the border. He has not delivered when it comes to ending these wars, the Ukraine war and no new wars. So, and the claims about election and stuff like that, we've already gone through that. So are there any Trump voters out there, anybody still worshiping Donald Trump, that is brave enough to get in the box and really have an intelligent, just give it 2 weeks. Look at this. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. I guess all my work is done. Yeah. See, the thing about me on my side of TikTok, on this side of TikTok, the thing is, what I do is we go through a lot of content together, right? Drake Cuts, what's up? And we get enough of the narrative and stuff out there that's been, we tackle the narrative, we go after the narrative that the Trump administration is promoting so much on this show that MAGA has no way of coming up here and proving us wrong. And that's honestly a huge W to honestly all of you that are in the audience this morning. Yeah. DJ's questions have been answered, and he was mightily humbled last week. And I think in terms of Blaga, I think I've completely destroyed Blaga. Blaga doesn't want any conversations with us because we sit up here, we listen to them, and we're active listeners, and we're going, okay, that's great, but the gas prices are still high. The gas prices are still high. Our utility bills have not been cut in half, right? You're losing a lot of these elections, these special elections that have been taking place. You see what's happening in Texas right now, Tallarico? Paxton's former attorney is supporting Tallarico right now. What's going on? What's going on, MAGA? I thought you all had a mandate. Remember when Donald Trump won? And I was going live on my show quite a bit. Every morning it was brutal because, I was bummed out Kamala Harris lost. Vice President Kamala Harris lost. I was bummed out, but I still managed to wake up every day and do my show, right? And it was a lot of heavy lifting, as my brother Q-Dog likes to say. We had to do a lot of heavy lifting, all right? But every day we kept holding the mirror up to these Trump voters and showing them that their dear leader had zero regards for their safety. It was all about him, and they thought it was a joke. Oh, we have a mandate. We have a mandate. Right? Straight facts, right? And then they would go, Give it 100 days. I had a bet. I'm not a betting person. They said give him 100 days, Zeus. You can't, because what we were dealing with Joe Biden was just so bad. You got to give him 100 days. After the first 100 days, these folks were sweating. You ever seen people tired after the first quarter? Oh yeah, that's how MAGA looked after Donald Trump's first 100 days. Oh, Zeus. Oh man, you just got to understand. Oh yeah, we had to do this and this and that. This isn't. And the next thing you know, we get Liberation Day. Next thing you know, we're going to war. We're snatching up Maduro out of Venezuela. But now MAGA is radio silent because these gas prices are sky high and grocery prices are sky high. MAGA is radio silent. Donald Trump falling asleep. Falling asleep everywhere he goes. We don't get any answers from MAGA. Yeah, I didn't think so. W Zeus. W Zeus. Who do we got right here? Southpaw, good morning.
Zeus.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. It's Orlando, my friend.
Yeah, why did you change your name?
Well, today is my birthday.
Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
And I am embracing the Southpaw Outlaw name.
Okay.
I'm embracing it.
Gotcha.
Because you're well aware that, I had my stroke. And
yes.
My right side was compromised.
Yes.
Therefore, I have to use my left hand to do what I love to do, and that is be an artist and draw. So now I'm working
I didn't
on.
know you were an artist, but yes, happy birthday, artist. There you go.
Thank you very much. Well, I've taught myself to write and draw with my left hand. So now I'm going to work on my first comic book that I've done. There's no point in waiting. Can't do it no more. I have no more fear. I'm just going for it, okay? So, all right. Now that I got me out of the way, I want to get back to what you said in the beginning of your show when you were talking about the Knicks, the lady reporters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is one thing in Trump's mind that came out of that Knicks game.
What is that?
At least Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon.
You know that. Never mind. Because some of them think that they were this close to having it and that they might actually have it. Some of them believe that. You do know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But and as far as like the clip you showed of Trump and the woman reporter, the press.
Yeah, Kristen Welker.
Right. It is going to take. I honestly believe it is going to take one female reporter to actually go off on him.
You think it's coming?
It's coming. Wow. It is coming.
Thank you. I agree because I can sense that a lot of these reporters out there, their patience is wearing thin.
Yes.
And it's only so much that a person can take before eventually, self-defense, self-preservation kicks in, and everyone is watching him. And they're going, why is everybody allowing the sitting president of the United States of America to completely disrespect women this way? It's unacceptable. It's evil.
It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to see it coming.
Well, you see it coming.
Seriously.
You see it coming.
No, I see it coming. The majority of the people don't see it coming.
Yeah.
Because what else you played was the female reporters that are complicit in allowing it to happen. They are the walking antithesis of not biting the hand that feeds them.
Right.
You see, that is why they keep going along with it. Because, hey, I know who's really signing my paycheck.
Yeah. Facts. Tell them.
Man, like this whole thing, this whole Trump experience is going to come to a flaming, crashing halt.
I agree.
The boom is going to be so loud that it's going to reverberate through the entire world.
Amen. And it's going to be self-inflicted. And it's really because, as a result of folks like yourself constantly doing your part to make sure the electorate, people where you're at, understand the dangers of his administration. It's starting to actually spread. We have a lot of people that listen to the show, and they've said, you know what, I've gotten a lot of confidence in terms of learning how to push back against these lies that Donald Trump and his supporters are actually out here spreading. You know what I mean? So congratulations.
Yes.
W's in the chat for Orlando, because that's what we need more of, to be honest with you. A lot of these folks, especially the brothers and sisters, they don't know where they come from, right? And they get out here and then they just start repeating everything Donald Trump says. And then when you ask them, could you give me some sources or could you give me some evidence to support that? This is when everything starts to crumble, all right? And so what we're going to keep doing, brother, is we're going to keep chiseling away at these folks, all right? Now, what are you doing today for the rest of your birthday?
I am going to find myself an exercise bike.
Oh.
It'll help me. Get my legs with the, help with the circulation.
Okay.
Get my legs moving in the morning.
Okay.
I went out and bought a kettlebell so I can do some kettlebell exercises.
You're trying to look a little good, huh? You're trying to get your
Yes, I
structure
am.
going. All
Yes,
right.
yes, I am. I turned 52 years young today.
Wow.
And I refuse to just sit back and lay down. I got work to do.
Amen. Well, I got to give it to you, brother. And how's the missus doing? She's taking you out somewhere special?
She is doing absolutely wonderful. She is in the back right now.
All right. Tell
Getting
her
herself together.
I said hello. All right.
I do every time.
We send a lot of love both of y'all way. All right. Seriously, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kingdom.
They love you. You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
All righty then. That's my brother Orlando, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected. See? Real decent person. I love it. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we have next? All right, my brother Stick the Ruler. Welcome. Good morning. How are you? Uh-oh. I can't hear you. I think we lost them. All right. Maybe that was a bad connection. Yeah. Happy birthday. Wait a second. Okay, wait a second. No, I do see you. He's not loading. Yeah, you're not loading.
I check.
Oh, wait. Now I can hear you.
Hey, what? Can you hear me, Zeus?
I can. Yeah.
Hey, Zeus, what's going on?
What's going on, bro? How are you?
Can you? Oh, I've been good, man. I ain't seen you in a while. I've seen you, but I haven't talked to you in a while. I'll say it that way.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
So this is what we need.
This is
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, but I think there's a little bit of
a delay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me get to this one spot. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So what happened with the reporter needs to happen every time. We need to let those arteries and those veins in his body that transport, that vital blood to the heart, we need it to overflow. right? We need him to go ahead and just go into cardiac arrest, right? And free everybody from the tyranny of Donald Trump. Now, mind you, the reason I'm saying this is because she showed everybody ratings is the key. So going forward, if the media needs to understand, ratings is what you want. That's why he said that Jimmy Kimmel was this, and that's why he got on everybody on the late night talk shows, said that their ratings were low. Well, when that woman, and I'm saying it just like that, when that woman told Donald Trump that I'm fact checking you, he did not like it. He was upset. He wanted to break the mic. He wanted to hurry up and get up out of there. That little bit of a rush of blood and all of that, we need more. We need more ratings, right? So all of you media people, do what she did, anger his blood. Let's get it up there. Let's get his heart rate up as if he was working out, which we know he doesn't do that. And let's get him to where he needs to be, which is right next to his wife at Mar-a-Lago.
Now they're going to get on you for saying that you shouldn't. They're going to say what you just said is hateful in a way. How do you feel about that?
I just told the truth. His ankles are swollen. That means heart failure. He doesn't like to be basically, fact checked. So being that it's our right to fact check, being it's his right to eat and be obese and not in shape, I think they should go together and be happy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So you think that, but think about all the good he's possibly able to do in this country. You sure don't you think he's doing some good stuff in America? Because some people think he is. Now, I personally don't. But what do you say to those people who are holding out hope, hoping that their dear leader is going to at least one day deliver something really good?
Oh, I'll give them what the boomers used to always probably say.
Oh, what?
Right?
Oh.
No, not that one. That's for family members, right? He's not a family member. The only good fascist is an unalive fascist. That's probably what the boomers would say.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I said
we don't support fascism over here, so yeah.
Right. So the only good fascist is an unalive one. So we're doing it, but we're not.
Let
doing
me ask you a question. Why are you so upset with Donald Trump? Maybe people don't understand where this resentment and this anger is coming from. But if you could and explain it, because what I do is, and I've been saying this for a while, right? We're talking to the younger generation right now and trying to distill down to them, why it's important to, participate in politics, but then at the same time, you got to be able to help explain why Donald Trump is such a terrible president, right? Where's the anger coming from, Stick?
Well, the anger is coming from I don't know Donald Trump, right?
Correct.
But for some reason, he gets up there and he tells everybody, I hate Democrats.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So you don't know me, but you hate me. So I should like you? Nah. That's not the way this is gonna go, Zeus.
Gotcha.
I don't like him either. I'm glad that he likes Big Macs. He likes fatty foods. I don't have to do anything. Lord's willing. All we have to do, again, is just give it a little push. And the push is just by having a little pushback on when he's telling a lie.
Oh.
That's all we have to do.
All right.
I seen it in the interview. Yeah, just get his blood pressure up. Get that, that those old Big Macs are working in the blood. And hey, c'est la vie. It is what it is. That's how I see it.
Y'all in the audience, y'all need to quit encouraging Stick to be this way. I mean, but I understand. I totally get where you're coming from. All right. That's funny to me because I sat back and I thought about it and I said, yeah, that could be when it actually does go down. And that would be in a way like a very memorable way.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the ratings? See, so again, I'm being Trump right now. I'm just worried about ratings.
Y'all said more chicken.
I'm worried about helping CNN, ABC, whoever the people are at the point where they get Donald Trump to be able to interview him. Because I know he's very selective.
Yeah.
But I just want you to go out there on a limb. You need to understand that people are watching. We want to be entertained.
Have you ever
need to push back?
Have you ever felt this way about any other president? I'm just curious.
I think that no, not in my lifetime. I believe before my lifetime, I probably would have, like Nixon or somebody. But not in my lifetime. In my lifetime, I didn't even feel like that about Bush. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't even think comedians feel the same way. I mean, they did a whole what was it? Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay, and they had an actor that was acting like Bush. I mean, and they had one in the background acting like Dick Cheney. So these are people that you would think that Democrats wouldn't like, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But they doing like almost like, look-alike cameos in movies. So we never felt like that. And Donald Trump, he's not going to be in any movie anytime soon. We knew who he was then.
Yeah.
But I think that it wasn't political. So we just kind of like let him do his thing. He was on what was it, Home Alone and all of that stuff.
He
as a cameo.
He didn't have the ability to actually, do things that actually harm the American people as an entertainer, right? But now that he's president, there are legitimately real life consequences as a result of his rhetoric and his policies. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
That's a good point.
So now that there's Trump 7.75 million.0.
Yeah.
Because he's switched up and did so many things so many times. I'm done counting, but I just know when I seen that interview, it all came to me. If you guys, as the press, I'm not speaking to you, Zeus, but
yeah.
If the press itself, the media, if you just push back an inch, just a little bit, you don't have to give him the whole yard, 9 yards, just an inch.
Yeah.
He will flip out.
He'll crash.
Try to turn over chairs and break mics, and he wants to get up out of there. He almost strip teased. He was trying to get up out of there so fast and take everything off. I believe if we give him just a little bit of push, he will just his heart, everything will come together and say, okay, sir, you've had enough.
There you go.
Just push back. Yeah, just push back. You've had enough. This is where you go lay on Mar-a-Lago, get that tax break and that no land taxes and all of that stuff. We're gonna put you to rest. and we'll hey, listen. There will be parties in the street.
Lord have mercies. W's in the chat for my brother Stick. All right, bro.
So that's the best. That's the best I could do with holding back all the excitement. Have a lot of could happen.
Yeah.
That pushback. Fact check. He says something that makes sense, or he has no evidence. Give the same pushback.
There you go.
We will get the same reaction, and we probably won't see him for 7 or 8 days. After the first couple of times.
Yeah.
But listen, it's a work in progress. It's working. It will happen. That is my positive outlook for America. That for the United States.
Fair enough.
So there you go. For those people who woke up this morning, you wasn't feeling too good. You're like me. You don't too much care for Donald Trump. There's your positive outlook. Have a good day, y'all.
All righty then. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my brother Stick the Ruler. No lies detected. All right. Let's move it along. Are there any Trump voters out there? Any Trump supporters out there? Go ahead. Go ahead and identify yourselves. We don't got all morning. I know they're out there. And by the way, please make sure you are tapping the screen, sharing the live, and if you haven't, make sure you are following this page. All right, it really does mean a lot. Will Shaba, thank you so much. Yes, thank you for rizzing up the live too. All these things do help. All these things do help us stay on the algorithm. Seriously, I'm learning all of this, by the way. Yeah, and yeah, WVIP. Thank you. WRECA. No, seriously, you guys are more than kind. I appreciate it. But where is? See, it says, Zeus, please reveal our community gift. You can find it by tapping. What is it? I don't know what I'm supposed to tap. I got to look into this because for some strange reason, I don't know how that works. Does anybody know how that works? Does anybody know how that works? I don't know. Because I see it. I don't even know. I gotta figure this out. If you know how that works, send me a guest request and help me understand that. Let me move on to my next panelist. Good morning. Who do we have? Good morning, Disney Mom. Drummer. Good. I'm doing okay, and you? Oh.
Just something interesting I came across. Okay.
Yeah.
But first, I want to say
They
a
can't hear you.
special
They can't.
shout out
Can you hear me?
to everybody.
They can't hear you for some strange.
Yeah. You can't hear me?
Can you all hear her now?
You can't hear me?
Okay, now they can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. So, I want to give a shout out to everybody in New York, okay? Because I know everybody's disappointed about what happened with the game, and we know, that the bad juju was in the building. Understand, but I want to thank everybody and give you a hand for all you New Yorkers out there who didn't give them any excuse to blame you guys for your behavior. You guys acted wonderful, you showed restraint, and you showed them who you were. So, New York City, you deserve a hand. I appreciate you. The whole country appreciates you.
Zip it, Greg.
But something interesting that I came across, okay? We all know that Donald Trump holds grudges, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting fun fact I came across, could be just a coincidence, but in 1973, that is when Trump and his father were accused of the housing discrimination. That was the last time the Knicks won the championship. So maybe he went there to spite it. He knows that he's got that bad juju, and maybe he went there to spite the Knicks. Just a little,
When you say it
interesting
like that,
fun fact.
Yeah, when you say it like that, I just got to say to MAGA, doesn't that seem suspicious?
It's coincidental, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Wow. W Disney Mom. He cursed you, so you're saying he cursed? He was there to try to curse the Knicks because he should.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can believe that is why he went. I think he went to make it difficult for the fans, and he knew that was going to be difficult for them. He knew, he didn't even care about the fact that the prices of the tickets were going to be sky high, and he literally said, "Watch it for free on TV."
I saw that. I said, wow, he has zero regards for the average American out here struggling to make ends meet while he continues to enrich himself. It's unfortunate, but this is what he's all about. getting revenge on his foes and getting revenge on the American people, right? No, it's not 382. No, we're being honest on this show. We have to be honest. Wouldn't you say he showed his rear end yesterday the way that he just basically had a complete sideshow on the side, getting booed and falling asleep and then getting booed out of town? I mean, how disrespectful was that?
Very, very. I mean, it's shameful.
Yeah.
But he has no shame. So, it's not anything that shouldn't be expected from him.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. All right. Was that everything?
All right,
Thank you for coming up and sharing that with the.
Great day.
All right, you too.
All right.
All
take
right.
care.
You see that, ladies and gentlemen? You see how, and it's so easy when I say, well, are there any Trump supporters? You see how Disney mom just came up and brought evidence? That's all we want from MAGA. Where's the evidence to support the beliefs that you have? Do you have any? Marvel, I saw you out there crying. Marvel, you support Donald Trump? Come on up here, Marvel. Come on up here, Marvel. Wait a second. Oh, wait a minute. This is Taurus. Taurus, why do you keep changing your... Taurus, you went from Taurus, what was the other name? Now you're Marvel. Slaying 2772. It's really sad, Taurus. Taurus. It's really sad that you're doing all this. You're having an identity crisis, it seems. Good morning, drummer. How are you doing, brother?
Zeus, my brother, how you been, man?
I'm doing all right, and you?
Good. And blessing to the kingdom as well.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Hey, I got something serious to talk about here.
Oh.
It's let's just say that we take full control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
The executive branch, Congress, the Senate, the House. Going to be in terms of, okay, let's make sure that we indict Trump and his family
Mm-hmm.
and all who are complicit
Yeah.
in basically going against the Constitution. I mean, what's the priority going to be? Let's say hypothetically that we take full control. Are we just going to let bygones be bygones, try to get back in order, or is there going to be a concerted effort to really not only go after the traitors, but also revise a lot of the laws, making sure that we will never ever see another Trump be able to capture the Oval Office? I mean, what do you think the priority ought to be if we were to gain full control again?
Well, there would be, in my opinion, there would be a lot of competing priorities, right? Because within the
Right.
Democrat Party, we have a wide tent. And I've been thinking about this, and I'm assuming everyone that has an interest is going to be vying to get their priority, I guess, moved to the top, whether we're talking about social justice reform, whether we're talking about things tied to improving the economy, whether we're talking about things that involve foreign affairs, right? I mean, and you only get a small
Right.
window of time to actually start trying to address these issues. And so I do believe that it'll be based on, what the electorate believes is the most important priority. I'm with you. I do believe that accountability and affordability are going to be the two main issues.
Yep.
And how that is actually played, how that gets played out, right? What I don't want to do is set myself up to be disappointed. They say the key to happiness is having low expectations. So you know what I'm saying? And if we were to actually be able to hold Donald Trump and his family accountable, that to me, we already saw when Biden was in office, how they, that stuff it's not going to happen instantly. You would have to literally, in my opinion, have multiple administrations committed to holding these guys accountable.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that that's what it would be, because, you know, Donald Trump's tactic, he's going to delay, you know, and it's going to be all this. And so you got that situation. And then on the other side, you know, we also want things to be better in terms of the economy, right? And so I think for me right now, the immediate thing is to just stop Donald Trump right now. Like, not one more executive order, like not one more law. We're going to stop this right here. And then we're going to actually start having to do damage control. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse, so to speak. And so that's why I just think the best thing we got for us right now is immediately pumping the brakes on this current administration. And then, you know, maybe going after some of these low-level offenders, you know, these people who've sold their souls out to Donald Trump. You know, you start taking them off the chessboard one by one, and holding some of these media organizations accountable, right? We have a lot of things going on in this country. So I don't want you to get discouraged, though, in not focusing on, I guess, what we should be doing as the people. I still do believe the burden is on us, the voters, to make sure we're putting people in position that are at least advancing us, you know, closer towards our goals, you know, and that's, to me, the biggest issue, you know, whether it's your local, state, and national elections. You just gotta keep your hands on the plow and not get discouraged, because this is not going to be a one administration fixes all of our problem situation. And we do have to do our part to make sure we never allow Donald Trump to be put into power again. Let me ask you this. If you were to go back in time, where do you think America went wrong with Donald Trump? How did he end up in this situation?
I think what happened is you had a lot of people who saw him. Well, you know, a lot of us actually saw through his facade, right? But then you had a lot of people out there who kind of saw his persona on TV and, you know, him always boasting about how successful he is and so forth. And so you have a lot of people who resonated with that persona. So I think that precipitated his movement, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. But, you know, the eighth wonder of the world, Zeus, is look what he did during his first term. I mean, yeah, he may have pumped up the economy a bit, but, you know, he had to bail out the farmers. He raised the deficit. He started to alienate a lot of our foreign friends and so forth. Then he started to become extremely rude to people. And and a lot of us, you know, thought, okay, hopefully MAGA is going to be the real Trump, and then I'm not even give him a second term. But, you know, it blew my mind that was not the case at all.
Well, and I think a part of it is that, but I also think that we got a little complacent, right? You know,
yes,
the Obama situation, a lot of us basically said we've arrived a little bit too early in the country, and we didn't recognize that there was an undercurrent of racism and misogyny that was brewing that needed to be nipped in the butt, so to speak. So I think that was one of the things, but I also think a lot of people lost faith in the government, right? And so when you have that vibe sitting on the hearts and minds of the majority of the electorate, I think it opened up the door for a lot of people to be misled and bamboozled, and got them to a place where they were searching for a hero. And this is why I get on these conservative white men out there. There's a lot of incels out there. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of men who don't have Riz. You ever seen these guys? Losers. And and I could go as far as back, and I could start blaming the parents too. How did you raise these demons? I shouldn't say that it's TikTok, but we have a serious parenting problem in this country too. So you're not holding your children accountable, and you're allowing them to scapegoat all the time. And so you raise a generation of people up. No charisma, not at all. Especially, I get on the guys especially. And then, you know, and I tell the story, Jamal on the basketball team, he made it on the team and he didn't. So guess what he did?
Right.
He's now fed up with the government and he's looking for a superhero. And then Donald Trump whispers something on a golden escalator. You heard the story. When did you fall in love with Donald Trump? The day he came down the golden escalator.
Yeah. Yeah, that was all a show.
These folks are sick. They don't want to, and this is the other thing. We need to really be honest with ourselves as a country. I get, you know, these elected officials, they're just the figurehead for what the real problem is. We have a real problem with honesty in this country. When people just can't be open and honest. You know, who was the most violent group of people in America? Based on the historical records. It shouldn't even be, let me think about it. You know American history, don't you? Oh, but it's too painful, Zeus, to recognize that. Why can't we just stop talking about racism? Well, let me ask you, Drummer. Has racism ever not been an issue in the United States?
No, it's still very much alive and well.
Huh. See, now that's thank you, Drummer. See, has misogyny stopped in the United States?
Yeah, misogyny.
All these things.
Yep.
So we can't not, and that's why I love Gavin Newsom. He always talks about being clear-minded and clear-eyed. We have to be clear-minded about what's really going on. And that's why I said lately my conversation has been about, like, what are you telling the next generation of leaders about what's currently going on, like in your position? Like, are you gaslighting the next generation and never showing them any evidence and just simply scapegoating and trying to blame the Democrats? Or are you actually able to actually certify, or, you know, I say certify, but actually provide them with information to actually help them understand why we're in this position as a country? So I appreciate this probing. I really do, because we do need to address it. And then at the end of the day, I still think that we need to basically have a reckoning in this country amongst ourselves as Americans about what's really going on.
Yep. And then one last thing, and I'll land my plane here. You know, Zeus, is it just me, or do you think Trump, knowing that this was going to be his last term, that he said a lot of things that MAGA wanted to hear, but he knew deep down inside that his only motive was to enrich his family to the fullest extent of corruptness that he was able to get away with? I mean, seriously. Seriously.
That, to me, you got to understand, this was a cornered animal, right? He was staring down the barrel, you know, and at one point mentally, and you got to give it to Trump in a way for being able to navigate this moment, because a lot of people would have crumbled under this enormous amount of pressure given 4 indictments, right?
Yep.
But he tapped into something, and he, you know, and I have to go in there and psychoanalyze it. I can tell that he went into that one of the darkest places a human being can go mentally. And he said, I am going to unleash hell on America. And because why would the country do this to me? You know, because he's a narcissist, right? And and yes, he said, I know that if I ever get back in that White House, it will never be about running a country. It'll all be about making sure they can never do this to me again. And I'll do and he said, I'll do whatever I have to do that. And to your point, that did mean lying to his voters. Because that's part because if he was honest with them, he wouldn't be in the White House. If he was honest with them, he would have said, yeah, I probably did steal those classified. Yeah, I was responsible for getting you all to come to the Capitol. Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have had a rally. I had lost. I should have conceded. If he was responsible, I mean, if he was honest with his followers, he would have said those things. But he had already made the decision a long time ago that his followers are only good for their votes and their money. So he's not worried about them. They don't have the power to do anything. It's going to be the United States government. And as far as he's concerned, the Democrats. Yeah. And so this is the saddest thing, right? You're literally, that's why I say he's going to go down in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest circus organizer ever, because the way that he has bamboozled his supporters, and he's convinced them that as long as they give him their money, he's okay with them being however they want to be. And they have no idea, they don't understand that giving away your money is actually the one way to destroy yourself in this country, because eventually you're not going to be able to provide for yourself. But, you know, and so you say to yourself, what kind of person would trade their quality of life in order to be a terrible person?
Right.
What kind of person would do that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, I love it how we see karma coming back and kicking him in the butt, because he like relentlessly, you know, taunted Biden for falling asleep and everything else like that. Well, look who's falling asleep now. And then here he taunted, no new wars. I'm not going to change any regimes or any other.
Yeah.
And look how Iran completely backfired on him. And what's delicious about that is he basically, because Obama, he knew how to run this country. I love Obama. I voted for him twice.
Yeah, me too.
He knew exactly how to run the country and how to deal with Iran. So here we have him. And I know for nefarious reasons, for selfish reasons, he went to bomb Iran because there's going to be a lot of rebuilding going on and so forth. So there's some like ancillary, you know, players who are going to make a lot of money off of that. But at the end of the day, when the dust settles, everything that Obama and Ben did is going to slap him in the face so hard, and it's going to ring. They were always right, and Trump, you were always a failure.
Facts.
And I hope he dies with the thought of that on his last day.
Y'all are so, oh my gosh, thank you, drummer. Y'all,
all right, Zeus.
You guys really want Trump out of office. That's incredible. I mean, I understand. All right, brother. Thank you so much for coming up here. All right.
All right, love you, Zeus.
All right, love you too, bro.
All right,
Appreciate you. All right. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you see,
all right, man.
we have organic, honest conversations on this show, right? It's not, you know, yesterday we spent a lot of time going over Graham Plattner, and that's why I tell these Trump voters out here, you really need to get out of this fog that you have found yourselves in. It's really disturbing. All right. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat. Poetivity, welcome. How are you doing?
Amazing.
Well, you got a voice now. You found your voice. So W's in the chat for you. All right.
Well, thank you. I agree with your last speaker in that we really do need to. These are the things that I see coming for us because of the choice that we apparently made as a country, putting this man in office. He's made being a criminal and running for office look really good because he got away with some of the worst crimes that we have in this country. We have child grape being a terrible crime. We have grape and assault being a terrible thing. We have stealing money supposed to be bad, you know?
Yeah.
We have being a traitor is supposed to be bad by unaliving penalty. And yet he committed all of those things and he is now in office. So all of the people who are more clever criminals than he is, because he always gets caught.
Yeah.
He always gets caught. Like there are criminals committing crimes who cannot be caught. Like they just can't. They can't
smooth
find
criminals.
any evidence.
You know, they call them smooth criminals, like Michael Jackson's song, Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, like they never get caught. And those people are probably signing up to run for president.
Yeah.
There's because they're like, wow, I spend my time robbing banks, but that's only like $30,000 a pop.
Right.
But I could actually just sign up to be president and I could make billions.
Yeah.
The other thing is that it used to be safe for Americans to travel. We just had 3 visitors to Mexico disappear. 3 women disappear.
Wow.
And in that, we are no longer safe because of the way that we're treating people in this country. So we are creating against ourselves.
Wow.
By the way that we are treating other humans. And that will go on for decades and decades, maybe hundreds of years beyond Donald Trump's presidency.
Wow.
The corruption that we're allowing, the way we're not holding anybody accountable, that is going to resonate in our country and in our children's lives and in our grandchildren's lives for the rest of their lives. They're not going to be as safe, as prosperous, as anything as we were. Yesterday, Japan, I think it was yesterday, threatened to sell off all the...
Really? The bonds? Wow.
Sell off all the...
Really? The bonds? Wow. What on earth?
It was a good purchase. It's not anymore.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
not anymore.
Well, they can't hear you, Poetivity. They said they cannot
They're
hear
saying
you.
they can't hear me.
Wow.
Shoot.
It might just take a second. I mean, it might just take
They're
a
saying
second.
they can't hear me, and I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you all hear me? TikTok
Okay,
is
I
glitchy.
can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you then. Anyway, our debt used to be a solid purchase in another country. It's not anymore. And when they sell off the debt that they hold, our economy collapses.
Yeah.
Our economy collapses. And Donald Trump had the president of Japan here and treated her like shit.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I caught that, but do what you do. We're good.
Yeah, treated her terribly. And she no longer feels loyalty to the United States.
Wow.
And is looking for other countries to do business with and is looking to sell off our debt, which means our economy collapses entirely.
Wow.
And everybody that owns a house ends up having to sell it to the billionaires, and eventually nobody owns anything but the billionaires, and we all rent from them, and they have even more power than they've got right now. So Donald Trump is destroying the future for all of us, but especially future Americans. They have no chance unless we get this man out now.
Let's get him out. W's in the chat for Poetivity, and we're going to get him out, Poetivity. With voices like yours and the work you're willing to do, you're always willing to get up here and say what needs to be said. We're going to get him out, and I hope that in the process we rid ourselves of this disgusting MAGA movement once and for all, because it's the worst thing we've ever dealt with in this country. And the reason I say that is because it's the first time I actually think we've gone backwards like this. And now we're having to, revisit issues we thought we had made tremendous amount of progress on, but now we're having to redo it. And that's why I say it's the worst thing I think we've ever dealt with as a country, because this isn't the first time we've had to run into these problems.
A lot of people go back to the 1930s for a check on this time, like what history has to show us on how to deal with it. This is not the 1930s. The last time we had a time exactly like this, where there were masked people who nobody knew in the streets doing horrible things, and climate change was destroying crops and destroying the food supply and doing things like that, was 1177 BC. 1177 BC. And in 1177 BC, the countries that fell then were empires, and they never recovered. They never recovered.
Wow.
They, to this day, they have not become again the same thing that they were before that time.
Wow.
And that is where we are in history right now.
Yeah. Wow. W Poetivity, thank you. Well, listen, see, I told you, you've been finding your voice on this show, and I appreciate you, honestly, for being, obviously coming up and saying what needs to be said, but also for the continued support. W's in the chat for Poetivity.
Yeah, well, I love supporting you. And the other thing is, every time you let me up, I get a bunch of new followers. So that's really nice. Thank you.
Aw,
So
there you go.
So those people that are having trouble getting followers, help yourself by helping Zeus.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's the right thing to do. It really is, because I'm only here and then I'm gone, and then I rely on every single one of you to do the work while I'm not online, because I just, I just can't. It's exhausting talking to some of these folks who just refuse to be agreeable when more evidence is provided. So thank you so much, Poetivity. All right. Thank you, and you too, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat for Poetivity. Hey Doc, how are you doing, Dr. Keisha Davis? Make sure you're following Dr. Keisha Davis. Who do we got? Talk it out. Welcome to the show. How can I help you this morning?
Hey, it's Jack.
Miss Jack.
Back up, talk it out. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, and you?
I am doing great. I'm gonna be real quick.
Okay.
But I got two things. So the one thing is the Karen Welker thing with
Kristen Welker, yeah, the interview.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Kristen Welker, yeah, her.
Yes.
That's proof that Donald Trump never got, we used to call them pop-pops. When you pop your child on the hand and they do something wrong.
Yeah.
So he never got pop-pops. And he never got any positive affirmations from his parents. They never told him he was kind, he was sweet, he was wonderful, none of that before he went to school. So he never learned how to be a good freaking human being.
Facts.
He's never learned that. That woman hurt his feelings because she kept asking him a question that he couldn't answer. When you're dealing with a child, because he has a childlike mindset, he's a spoiled, petulant child that was born into money. So a woman, because don't forget that he's misogynistic too. So a woman questioning him, asking him the hard questions that men seem to be forgetting how to do. And then she kept pushing on it. She didn't let it go. She didn't drop it, because now she's testing me. In his mind, no, not this woman testing me, asking me a question. He reverted back to what most of them do, and that's insult. Because now I have to take my toys and leave. You have hurt my feelings. I am taking my ball. Nobody about to play basketball. That is what he essentially did, throwing a temper tantrum with this woman because she only said, where's the proof that the election was stolen?
Where?
That's all that lady kept saying. Well, where's the proof? The court said no. Everybody else said no. You're the only one saying it. And he lost his mind. And people don't see that as a problem. They don't see him speaking to women the way he does as a problem. And truth be told, I think it's going to be a woman that's actually going to go off on him one day. I hope it's not a black woman.
Oh. You say
Because
you hope?
you know how he thinks about us
Yeah.
already. If it's a black woman, this is going to show the real hypocrisy of MAGA, though.
I haven't seen him do I don't think I've seen him do a
He did it to Rachel Scott.
Okay, he's done one with
But-
her. Okay. Because
Yeah,
it's not
he
like
did
a
it with
wide
her.
pool of black women reporters.
Right.
that
So
he-
I think if go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, I think if it happens black woman, that's when the hypocrisy of MAGA is going to really come out, because the black woman is going to seem so nasty. They're going to be all over the news saying, look how this reporter talked to Donald Trump. They're going to forget everything he said about women, They're going to forget all the times he was nasty to women and just say, look how nasty black woman talked to Donald Trump. They'll forget it then. Because they're hypocrites. And then to speak towards something that Drew said, because Drew was asking, like, how are we going to fix this? What's going to happen? One thing we have to understand about MAGA and this love they have for Trump is Trump gave them the biggest hope for the resurgence and rebirth of a new Jim Crow era. That's why they put all of their excitement up behind him. Yep. That's why they were so quick to get all their morals that they claim to have as a conservative Christian for Donald Trump. Everything that they held near and dear to their heart, they gave it away for Donald Trump because their biggest goal was, we don't really care what he does as long as he gets us to the point where we can kind of tell black people what to do again and ask you why you here and show me your ID, or why are you delivering mail in my neighborhood, black man. That's what they had hope of him. So it never was about him. This man just the other day just said, I never told them that it was going to be no new wars. They know he said that because they repeated it, but he sat right there and said no. Yeah. They never really cared about him holding to any of the campaign promises, lies that he told them, because they didn't really care. Yeah. So it's really going to take so many changes. It's not going to be fast. Our country is really broken. Everything Donald Trump spent all that time saying was broken. Yeah. He kept saying, oh, all of our 3-letter agencies are broken. There's so much waste and abuse in this country. All the things he said was broken, we're really seeing now. He actually broke it. Yeah. It's now what he said it was. Yeah. So it's going to take a lot of people to actually pass away. That one generation going to have to slide on out of here. And then it's going to take the Democrats holding their feet to the fire. Yeah. Changing things that you can change right now, and then working towards the rest. We have to deal with new this, and try to get everybody back on the right track. Because what we have seen, and I'm going to land my plane, what we have seen is this is what he said it was, but he lied on Biden.
Amen. Tell the truth and shame the devil, Miss Jack.
Y'all have a great day. I will be on my Talk It Out page today at 12. We're going to talk about communication. Anybody want to come on over there? Feel free.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They got the word, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat for Miss Jack. And what time is that?
12.
There you go. That's 9. That's pretty much right around the corner. All right. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Miss Jack.
I'm getting ready.
All right.
Y'all have a great day.
All right. You too. Wow, yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, make sure you are, well, we rounded that corner. Oh, look who wants to come back up here. Maybe Brother Swerve, you want to close us out, bro? Welcome. What's going on?
Oh, you beautiful, tiny people living in my telephone.
DJ's worst nightmare in the box
good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm just really sore as ever right now, trying to unpack a little bit at a time and get settled into my place and all of those things. But, I was sitting here watching this morning and unpacking and, I'm listening. I'm not really watching the phone. Mm-hmm. But I just happened to come back to the phone after you played the clip from CNN with the guy with the gentleman telling the other dude, you're a liar. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And right then, just as I glanced at the phone, DJ's goofy behind typing there, Zeus, you proved nothing.
Oh, he wrote that?
Right. And I can hear his voice in my head. You didn't prove anything, Zeus. Right. I can hear it in my head.
Yeah.
And I stopped for a minute and I looked at my dog. I said, Maze, did you? Well, wait a minute. Yeah, Zeus actually did prove something.
Yeah.
And what you proved, Zeus, was how Republicans sit there and cry and whine over nothing that they have no evidence of. They whined and cried about the Biden crime family. They whined, the Biden crime family. Woe is me, the Biden crime family.
Facts.
Yet after 3 years worth of investigation, Jim Comer published a report that said the greatest case for impeachment. Okay, well, why didn't he get impeached? And when he got called out on it, he's like, we're going to strike that from the record. No, we're not striking nothing from the record. And every time you turn around, Like she asked him, she's like, "Where's the evidence?" Well, just look around. At what? What are we looking around for? And then you want to blame Jim Comey?
Yeah.
For January 6th?
Yeah.
You had already fired Comey. So
Yeah.
what? And MAGA doesn't care about any of that. They're sitting there at home. They're going, yeah. Comey, I'm telling you right now, he got my Lord Savior in trouble because I'm proud to be an American.
Facts, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Swervin is telling the truth. That's a huge round of applause.
It's just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
You prove something to people like DJ and Dame, and then, okay, well, come up and disprove me. And they can't disprove anything.
Well, don't you find it suspicious? That's all they say. Don't you find it suspicious?
Well, I don't use the word suspicious. I use the word weird. You know, because it just fits in so many categories. You know, that's weird. Donald Trump was in a helicopter that was with Brown. And,
yeah.
You know, Willie Brown wasn't thinking about trying to reach out to his kids. Wasn't trying to make his peace with God.
Right.
His only thought was, oh, by the way, 20, 30 years from now, you might run for president against Kamala Harris. She's a bad person. That's kind of...
Yeah. Huh.
Why is Willie Brown's name in your mouth, number one, when you weren't even in a helicopter with Willie Brown? That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Why are you sitting there talking about how great the economy is doing when nobody's energy costs have gone down? And he's sitting there, well, you know, he tells that reporter, I never said no new wars. Yes, you did. Yes. We heard you say it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just weird.
That's weird.
He acts like the stuff he said is not on videotape.
Yeah.
It's just weird, man.
That is weird.
These people are weird.
Yeah.
They're weirdos.
No
They're just weirdos. But like I said, it's going, you proved nothing, Zeus. You actually proved how whiny, snowflakey, pathetic that they are when they're simping for Donald Trump.
Yeah. W's in the chat.
And DJ can people like DJ can say all he wants and says, well, I don't agree with everything he says and does, but no, you shouldn't agree with anything this man says and does, because the stuff that you do agree with, which is not conducive to the zeitgeist of the United States of America, you cannot agree with that. There's nothing he's doing for anybody in this country right now. And when you ask him to name something, they go, well, he's getting rid of all the immigrants. No, he's not. He's putting them in detention centers, and we're paying for them to be there.
Wow.
You know, and Zeus, here's something, a little feather to put in your bonnet for your next show.
Okay.
One, look up section 224 of the NDAA, right? That's the National Defense Accountability Act.
Right.
Right? Section 224. And look out our I guess, defense infrastructure is going to be additionally integrated with Israel.
Oh, I saw that, I should say. Yeah. Unfortunately.
And look up the list. Yeah. And then look up the list of donors that have given money to this ballroom. And then look up how much money in contracts and government contracts.
So
weird, ain't it?
Yeah, it's weird, sort of like Trump not taking a salary, right? Isn't that weird? He didn't take a salary.
It's like a pay-to-play thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you do that if you could get away with it, right? So to a degree, I mean, if it was illegal, right? I won't take any of this salary, and I can turn around and just enrich myself and my family by defrauding the American people. I mean, which one?
Yeah, I don't need my $400,000 a year salary because I already made $6 billion this year. So that $400,000, that's a little drop in the well.
You know, that's acceptable according to MAGA because you knew Trump was a businessman when you brought him into office. Do you know that? You knew he was a businessman, but Biden, what was his business?
I heard something about that, and I keep telling him when it comes to Biden, I keep telling him, like, look, man, y'all got to pick a lane. Either this man was asleep at the wheel or he passed the most monumental legislation ever while running a criminal mastermind organization between China, Ukraine, and the United States. But somehow he bans off the stable genius while he was asleep in his basement.
Facts.
Pick a wheel. Pick a lane. You have to pick a lane.
Yeah. No.
And every time I turn around, it's well, Biden did this. Look, man, Biden.
Zip it, Angus. Yeah.
Why didn't y'all say anything about the high gas prices when it was about that? How we got
facts.
You wouldn't how we got them. And that's just, I don't know, man. They're weird, dude. They're weirdos. They're just weirdos, Zeus.
Yeah, they're
Getting the list of don't and it oh man, I don't know, bro.
It's just TikTok this morning, but can you all hear us now? Sound is going in and out. Can you hear us? It's glitching. Yeah, it's just a wild day.
Yeah, that's a.
Okay, they can hear you now.
It has been a wild day because while I was unpacking my spare bedroom, like I was listening, and then all of a sudden I'm like, did he get kicked?
Oh no!
And the face up there moving around or something, and then the sound would pop back.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're glitching bad this morning.
Yeah, it might be the app doing an update.
But that's all right.
But yeah, W's in the chat for Brother Swerve. We'll take it as a sign, brother. But as always, I appreciate you for coming here and blessing us, and then also for cooking DJ, because DJ is he's gonna break. He's going to break. Trust me. He's going to break, Swerve. And what you did to him last Friday, it was amazing. I've been putting pressure on him, too. Yeah.
It's like foreclosures were.
Boom.
Here went.
Boom.
Here went. Here went.
Yeah, weird. Can't hear you again. They can't hear you, but all right. All right. Oh, it's blurry. Okay, yeah. All right. All righty then. Well, yep. You too. Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. All righty then. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on. We're going to take that as a sign that we've reached the end of the show, and it is now officially time to wrap things up. You all deserve a huge round of applause. I don't know what the heck is happening with this app. Can you all hear me? Start all over again tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Can you all hear me at least? We can't hear guests, yeah. No, it's on my end too. I see the buffering. It could be.
What about body? Yeah. What about body? Oh, what about body? Stole the whole election night. Read the votes dead tonight. Yeah, that ain't right. What about Biden? Borders wide open, let them flood in. Millions crossing, drugs pouring. Where we begin? What about Biden? Gas prices sky, inflation wild. Economy dying, can't feed your child. What about Afghanistan mess left them behind. 13 soldiers gone. Joe acting blind. What about Biden? Yeah, what about Biden? What about Biden? Yeah, up in the White House, call him Sleepy Joe, cognitive decline. Everybody knows stumbling words, can't finish a sentence. Pumping on strings, who pulling the leverage? On his laptop, bullets of deals. China cash flow, million concealed. Family getting pain, influence pedal while we out here struggling, pockets unsettled. Weaponized Doja, FBI raids. Mar-a-Lago storm, 100 gets praised. January 6th, locking up brands. But Joe specified docs in his garage, man. Keystone cancel, energy weak. Depending on foes, gas $4 a week. Crime in the cities, soft on the streets. Defund the police, chaos for peace. Go the whole election night. Read the votes day to night. Yeah, that ain't right. What about Biden? Borders wide open, let them flood it. Millions crossing, drugs pouring. Where we begin? What about Biden? Gas price style, inflation wild. Economy dying, can't feed your child. What about Biden? Afghanistan mess left on behind. 13 soldiers gone. Joe acting blind. Biden. What about that? What about Biden? Yeah, what about Biden? Yeah, what about Biden? Yeah. What about that? Atlanta nigga twin, know what I'm saying? They say twin.
Know what I'm saying? Outside is back to what it was, you know what I'm saying?